I represent the Yay area.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's DJ Ron, the classic DJ from the Bay, also known as Righteous Ron, also known as Chef Ron, coming at you again. Switching lanes a little bit, though, as far as this episode goes. For those that don't know, I'm a father of two, but I'm also a child of the Most High, right? The Father up above, right? Our Heavenly Father that looks down upon us. And as I started to look at this last night, when I saw that it was a different arena, Stephen A. had spoken out at least twice regarding LeBron James saga and everything else. I just wanted to go ahead and, matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, I'm about to do something a little different. Because for full disclosure, I actually got out a few a few minutes into this, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I want to watch this and be able to see it for myself as far as what Stephen A was saying and be able to react to it. So for full disclosure, I just want to see because they alluded to it on here. And actually, I'm going to do this. Look, this is a quick little pivot, right? Like I said, I'm switching lanes today regarding Stephen A. Let's see what he said. Because apparently he said something recently about. So yeah, just like LeBron, there's nothing up here. There's nothing up here from LeBron. LeBron, they ain't gonna say what he said. All right, so let's get to the subject at hand. Back to original content. Again, I'm a fan of Stephen A, and I'm asking you if you're a fan of mine. Welcome back, and if it's your first time seeing me, I invite you to like. Definitely feel free to comment because this is a controversial subject, so I expect the controversy to continue. But also subscribe if you're into content like this, particularly with a Christian view, where applicable. But at the same time, sharing opinions, sharing some views, sharing some knowledge, sharing some experience as well. So here we go. Stephen A. getting real this time, talking about what happened with him and LeBron James, because apparently LeBron has responded, and now Stephen A. is kind of taking the gloves off. So let's see what he got to say.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
Water.
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened. I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel.
That's the same William Morris that Rakim and Eric B was talking about. William Morris is our agency. Word up. Secure and Forth and Dark. Man, they've been around a long time. Also, not drinking no cocktails. Iced tea. Let's sip the tea. Let's go.
Had courtside seats right next to the Lakers bench. He had Larry David with him, star of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sitting with them. I get there in the first quarter. I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And then I turn back around, and a lot of people thought this was the end of the game or something like that. This was in the third quarter.
Game ain't over with.
Apparently, LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turn around, and he's right here in my face. He said, yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop fucking with my son. That's my son. And I was like, what? He said, nah, fuck that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, fuck that. Nah, fuck that. You got to stop fucking with my son. And I said, all right, though. And he walked off. So I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny. And Bronny looked over at me. And he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit. It hit him. And he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me.
This dude.
And so when I went on the air the next morning, first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral.
And just real fast, not defending him or nothing like that, but he spoke a little bit more about it on the Skip Bayless show, and he was saying he didn't want to talk about it because, and the reason why he didn't go further with it was because, first of all, he's caught off guard. Obviously, he made a statement, but he had just signed his contract with ESPN, where he just extended his contract, so he's feeling real good about it, So he didn't want to have that blemish mess up his, you know what I mean? Like they say, Hey, you know, somebody will always want to rain on your parade. In this case, LeBron did it.
Once the shit had gone viral, the bosses at ESPN. Now you got to talk about it. See, this is you
The news is too big. You got to talk about it.
and him. You got to talk about it. I said, fine. So I go on the air and I
Had to
said,
convince him.
the first thing that I'm going to do is establish that this was a father talking to me, not a player.
He did that.
And that was what threw me off. And I was glad, even though I thought that he misrepresented the argument, I was glad he did. Because you see, what he was really talking about, which was confirmed with his conversation with Richard Jefferson, is that
That's the article I was looking for. See, this is about as far as I got into it last night. I was watching last night. Said, you know what? No, let's rehash. Let's bring it here to y'all.
I was talking about him as a father. And so what happens is that had he said that to me, then I wouldn't have been thrown off. I'd have came right back at him. Yes, I was. I was talking about you. You did this shit, which I'll get to in a second.
This is another thing, too. There's an old saying that the pen is mightier than the sword. The sword, you could use it when you're right there. You can use your sword. You could do whatever you do right then and there. The pen, however, goes on and it goes on and it goes on. So he could go all summer talking about LeBron. He better not lose in the playoffs. Talk about it all summer. He could talk about LeBron all summer. The pen is mightier than the sword. You know, whether he has a right to do it or not, I don't know how people feel about it, but that's what the saying means. You could do whatever with the sword in a moment. However, the pen is going to outlast that sword, and it could do a whole lot more damage over time. The pen is indeed mightier than the sword. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's a fact. They don't make some sayings. It's not just said just to be said.
But because he didn't do that, I said, fine, you let it go. Mind you, I just agreed to my contract. Courtside. That day was when it was announced. It's all over, everywhere. Right? I mean, right? It's a nationally televised game. The cameras are rolling. And I'm like, if I do anything, this is going to be a scene.
And LeBron, whether you know it or not, he be flow showing. High side like we saw on the West Coast. In other words, he know where the camera is at all the time. He always know where the camera is at. And he is not one to shy away from performing. Love him. Don't get it twisted. Till he went against my Warriors, I was rooting for him to win his championships and everything else. But you got to call a spade with a spade. You know what I mean? They don't call him the flop for nothing.
Now, we can sit up here in front all we want to and act like we don't work for somebody. Damn it, I work for Walt Disney. And if I had gotten into some shit with him at courtside right there at that moment, no matter how right I would have been, it would have been wrong. And I was like, I'm not going to do this.
It's called a business decision. You know, that's why I say he a G. Real ones, they understand the moment.
But
It's bigger than you.
once I saw the tape of him talking to Richard Jefferson Saturday night in Boston, that was when I got really pissed because that was confirmation. Now let's get to the father thing. And I'm so glad y'all asked me about this shit because all I would ask is that I've been around for 30 years. Tell me the parent that said they heard me talking about them. I've never done it. What happened was this man was the one that said, you want me, draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he better than some of the NBA players are right now when he was in high school.
He said that.
If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop. You can't do this.
Full disclosure, too, as far as what I know, I remember when he was in college, or in high school, Stephen A. emphatically, he said it multiple times that he's not going to none of the games or whatever because it's too soon. He don't want to put that spotlight on him. Spotlight has already been put on him by his dad. He didn't want to be a part of it.
If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop. I said it then. This is before he got drafted. Stop doing this.
In high school.
He goes to USC. He got the heart ailment. I'm like, thank God he's okay. He gonna be all right.
He did talk about it then.
But
let me say I'm a fan of Stephen A. since way before Quite Frankly and all that. Because I just to see somebody come on there and talk stuff like, just sit in the barbershop and he said the bad stuff about a lot of different players. I forgot exactly what it was, but he was always live and direct with it. So I always loved that. So, my cousin and I, what's Stephen A? Where's Stephen A? We didn't know he got kicked off of ESPN. But when he came back on what was my favorite show, First Take at the time, still my favorite show. I just not subscribed to ESPN no more. My cable dish, it's a little different now. But what I'm saying is, I knew he was going to go up. I didn't know he was going to go this high with it, where he took over the show and everything else. And again, he had an interview with Skip Bayless, but he doesn't get this graphic with it. This is why I'm here showing this one, y'all.
I'm not going to go see him at USC, just like I didn't go see him at Sierra Canyon, because, like, I ain't see Melo's son. I heard your son is all world. I ain't see him. Your son. I never saw these guys until they came pro, because I know. No, it's not that. I know that because of who I am and what I've established for myself in this industry, if I walk into an arena, everybody is looking for me to critique that person.
Believe it or not, it's
and
true.
I don't want to do that because they on a come up. I'm not covering college. I'm covering pro.
And they kids.
Huh? And they kids. Well, I'm saying that, but if I was a college reporter,
They're
then
kids.
I would have to. But I wasn't. So why am I going to be there? I didn't want to put that extra pressure. So I never went. I went on national television and announced to the world, I'm not going to see him. He goes to USC. I'm not going to see him. It's too much. It's too much. And then now he's got to overcome this heart ailment, so I can't judge him. But then they said, oh, he going pro. So then once you say he's going pro, okay, you're talking to the scouts and the evaluators and everybody else. Yo, man, this is them. He'll be lucky to be a second-round pick. He'll be lucky. He ain't ready, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I ain't seen him, y'all. I haven't seen him. Then all of a sudden, Rich Paul and others at Clutch, and then the story headlines follow. Boston might be interested, Golden State might be interested, Phoenix might be interested, Clippers might be. You start hearing all of this, and you're like,
LeBron?
This could be true, or this could be them wielding their magic to make it look such a way. I say nothing. He gets drafted by the Lakers, which everybody knew was going to happen because, the skids were greased, and he gets drafted. I still say nothing. He goes into the pro. It's opening night. Now remember, most cats talk about the league. I cover it. What I mean by that is that you can give your opinion. You might not be on the phone with the commissioner. You might not be on the phone with the executive VP. You might not be on the phone with other people that work in these offices. I am. So because of that, I'm hearing all of this. Yeah, we just going to go along with it. Open the night I'm talking about. Open the night. And we just going to go along with it. Or you hearing the Lakers are just going along with it. You're hearing this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they told me that, meaning the commissioner or Jeannie Buss, but I'm saying you're hearing that from those organizations. So I'm getting all of this. I still say nothing. I'm at Crypto.com Arena. I'm one of those cats standing there.
Staples Center.
Ken
Game
Griffey, Senior and Junior, who all-stars, Hall of Famer, and Ken Griffey Jr. They got them there. And again, I've been covering it for 30 years. Not NBA, sports. You understand? So how you think it's all looking to me? It's a little bit too choreographed. But I'm still...
They know.
I'm still like this. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, let's have this moment because LeBron deserves it. The brother, I got him number 2 all time behind Jordan, right? He's done so much for the league. He's generated so much money. I don't want to hear about Bronny and the $8 million. As far as I'm concerned, LeBron underpaid. Shit, that's $8 million he should have had in his pocket. It's no big deal to me. But
and that's the part I had a problem with. If he know it's not good, and we know, especially if LeBron is the expert that he is. For instance, if it was my kitchen, or if I'm working at a kitchen, and I'm the chef in the kitchen, and the owner's like, well, we think we want to hire your son or whatnot, I'm going to be honest with you and say, man, he ain't on sous chef level yet. You know what I mean? Maybe he can wash some dishes or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, because we know our children. Kids, your parents know you. Believe it or not. And I always tell folks when I was driving Uber, when I went back to college to get my degrees in restaurant management and culinary arts and business management, respectively. I would tell children all the time they don't know what they want to do. They're doing a general education first because obviously I went there for culinary arts. Then I decided to reach higher. That's how I had to take the general education. They don't know what they want to do. They did it the right way. They went general education first. Get the hard part out the way until they find out what they want to do. Then they start studying for that, and it gets a little easier, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I took the easy way first, and then I decided to go harder. My point, most parents know their kids well. You know what I'm saying? And they know what you like to do, what you've always been interested in from a child all the way up till now. So at least get some input. If they don't tell you exactly what it is, they can point you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So by LeBron being a very rich parent now, this, you know, people say, well, if he was in his position, you do the same thing. Not necessarily true for those very same reasons. Because I'm in a very rich position, let me hire a real sous chef. Let the boss get a real sous chef. You understand what I'm saying? My son gonna be in the kitchen regardless because I'm here. You understand what I'm saying? And if he happen to work his way up, then God, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like he need the money. It's a sous chef out there been looking for a job, been training all this time to get a job, then staged, and you know that's a restaurant term. In many restaurants, trying to get a job. And I'm gonna give my son because he's entitled to because he's my son, and let him come in here because I want to work with my son. It's selfish. It's classless, and you know it's wrong. You know it's the antithesis of having a school that you want to help people, and I'm presuming people of color, probably all people, you know, kids in general. You know what I'm saying? And then you had this situation come along. To me, it's just not right, and that's my personal opinion. I know it's controversial, but that's how I feel.
The one thing I did say was that one game right there is the moment. Now you got to go to the G League and earn your stripes. Instead, he's playing and playing and playing, and I'm getting stats, and he go against Philly. They put him in the first quarter.
They served him.
And Tyrese and them gave it to him. And then they plaster on Sports Center.
Today we are setting up this Chick-fil-A employee.
That's one thing about it. He might not be able to handle it. Your son might become an alcoholic drug addict because too soon.
0.3 points. 0.3 rebounds. 0.4 assists. Blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn. Why? Because I'm like, now I can't ignore it. Because how am I doing my job?
Gotta talk about
now
it.
you put me in a position where because they put the stats up, everyone is blowing it up. They're putting it on all their social media pages. And it's like, how all of that's happening?
The ink is ready. And see, the thing about it, LeBron, they probably took it down at Richard Jefferson. I'm going to look again before it's all said and done. Probably before because it's probably going to be part 2 because a lot of people y'all don't have the attention span to watch the whole thing. Look for part 2. But my point again is that LeBron, now they took it off the internet. See, he can't talk. This dude get paid to talk about it. He's making himself look better. You know what I mean? He's making some of y'all hate him a little bit more, but he's making himself look better the more he get to explain it because it's just becoming clearer and clearer as far as I'm concerned.
Don't do this. Because you're putting him under such a microscope. It's going to be too much for him to overcome. Give him a chance. So that's what I said. And because I prefaced it by saying, as a dad, the only reason I said as a dad is because you marketed yourself as his dad to help him get into the league. You didn't do that. Melo didn't do that, or it hasn't yet.
That's unfair, Stephen A. But you're making a good point, though. I don't know too many basketball players using their cachet to get their kid in. If so, it was behind us. But then to be true, LeBron is one of the biggest ever. If Jordan would have done it, it probably would have been out there. Michael Jordan's petition for his son. But to put yourself out there and say, wherever he goes, that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to play with my son. Yeah.
And I know he wouldn't.
D-Wade,
Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry.
I thought D-Wade got a son that wanted to go. A child that wanted to go to the WNBA. I didn't know he got one in the NBA, trying to go NBA. That's what's up, D-Wade. Hey, he was dope.
None of them did that. None of them. He's the only one. And I said, yo, That's why I'm saying this to you. I don't want to do this. I know your intentions are honorable. Go back and watch the whole tape of me saying it. I know your intentions
Please,
are honorable.
and
I
thank you.
know you don't mean harm. But
If LeBron did that and he got some merit to his argument, then by all means, talk your talk. If not, and I'm telling you, I watched First Take every day until like last month, Super Bowl Sundays when I, cut off that service. But I'm just saying, he would step out the conversation a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of times, but if 2 times is a lot of times. But he stepped out the conversation like, hey, I haven't seen him, so I can't say nothing.
so there's some vultures out here, and they gonna come for him. And how many times over the years, to get to your point in terms of what you asked me about what you expect from me, Stephen A. Blah blah. How many find the brothers in the industry that will tell you I did not give them a lookout? I go up to them all the time. Yo, come here. I'm not gonna be able to help you if you get to this point. You need to stop this shit right now because it's coming. It's coming. That to me is where I reach back and I pay back by giving cats the heads up of the minefields, because I've been here for 30 years. I got
Behind
fired,
the
I
scenes,
lost my job,
probably,
they thought my career was over. I've been through all of this shit. All of it.
Say what you want, but the man ain't where he's at just because, you know what I'm saying, the name. He do great work. So this part right here, we don't know about. And, even the Bible says that, don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. In other words, don't go bragging about what you do for other people. Just do it anyway. And your Father, our Father who sees you, what you do it secretly, will reward you openly. That's the new contract. I'm just saying that's an example of the word and it being in effect. The only reason why he's saying it now is because he's put in a position where he has to say. Now, here's the thing about it. He has to say what he's done. Here's the thing about it. Much like with Cat Williams, people don't give him the credit. It wasn't nobody who could come along and refute, and with receipts to prove he was lying on that Shannon Sharp interview. So, now the onus is on whosoever will to come and say, hey, he talked about me as a parent and show proof, show receipts, and what he's talking about here. You know what I'm saying? If there's 2 people that come forward and say, yeah, Stephen A. told me about this, that, and the other, whether I listen or not, stay off the weed is when he went public, but he never said who he was talking about. And I got a feeling he was talking about Kevin Durant when he said, oh, this MF is high. He was talking about a player on the court or whatever and kind of lost. And Kevin Durant, I'm not saying he get high or whatever, but he gives that aura. You understand what I'm saying? As far as, thinking to, I don't want to belabor the moment. My thoughts are my thoughts.
And I'm like, yo, I know where the minefields lie. And I'm telling you what's coming. And then this shit go down and everybody act like I never said none of this. I said, this fucked up. Because if you go, it's all on tape. If you go back, I gave the heads up.
That's too easy for people to do. That's too easy for people to do.
Like,
So we shouldn't uplift our kids? Like, we can't.
I'm sorry, I
talk
couldn't
about-
hear you. You said what?
We can't uplift our kids. We can't say he's better than some of the players.
But you gotta be truthful.
What you mean, Trevor? It's my son.
I don't give a fuck
think
if your son suck, your son
regardless
suck.
or not. I don't give a fuck. But it's
Wait,
no
wait,
son.
wait. Your son suck, he suck.
No.
Yes.
No. But
Yeah,
no.
not in his heart.
No.
Yeah, I understand.
He don't,
Listen, you can
though.
be that dad,
What is it?
but
He's
you
doing-
made it to the high. You're not trying to
But-
live, but you're
but
not
how
trying
much
to
he
live
average in the
vicariously.
G-League?
You're not
So
trying
obviously he
to.
don't suck.
You're not
So
trying to live
obviously I'm
vicariously
seeing
through your
something that
son,
y'all
do, Nick.
seeing now, and I seen it. So how do we
I'm not
suck
saying
now?
Bronny suck, but I'm just saying.
But you just tell
You
me I
honest.
can't
You
uplift my
honest. Yes,
child.
you can be that. Listen. I coach Little League rec girls basketball. Right? Trust me
Kenyon Martin,
when I
you
tell
think?
you. Some of them parents being there cheering they fucking heart out for their
For real.
child.
Yeah.
You supposed to, shit. It's my child.
You see that product. They ain't got nobody athletic in their family tree.
Whoa, man.
Listen,
They're looking for an anomaly.
They ain't
My
got
son
athletic
nice, man.
bone in their
My son
body.
average 20.
They ain't
Let 'em
got
cook.
athletic bone in their family
Yeah, my son
tree.
average
And they
is,
got their child out here and they out in that motherfucker with signs and shit.
Right.
Go get them.
But what I'm saying, this all
Your
started
child need a
because you
helmet.
said my child is better than some
They
of
don't
the
mean
players in the
that.
NBA.
They don't mean that. Wait, don't you coach your son on the girl?
No. This boy, no, I don't.
What?
Your child need a
You
helmet.
said my child is better than some
They
of
don't
the
mean
players in the
that.
NBA.
They don't mean that. Wait, don't you coach your son on the girl?
No.
Don't you coach his son on the girls' team? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, Gil. That's a
Don't
fool for
need
that.
help.
Said my child is better than some
It
of
don't
the
mean
players in the
that.
NBA.
It don't mean that. Wait, don't you coach your son on the girls?
No.
This boy,
No, I thought. Disrespect me.
No, I thought.
No, they ain't gonna do this in front of Stephen A. No, this is no. We got company. We got company. No.
Don't y'all play in the same league? I got a 6-year-old son.
Yeah, my
You got
son,
a
nice and
son.
fine. Nice.
Oh,
He
when-
play-
no, I got a no fool. I thought you was coach ass boy.
But the other part that I would bring to you, the other part.
Bottom line, he's a dishwasher. That's what he's a dishwasher. And y'all be thinking he's supposed to be first string executive chef. No, not ready, not there.
I would bring to you, Swag, is this.
That's all I'm saying.
That's Swaggy P.
Because
Okay,
you
all
played in the NBA, it ain't just about how you feel. It's about how you know what's coming.
And then I gotta know.
And so now, as a parent, you got an obligation to protect from what's coming.
To your point, right? I used to tell KJ all the time. Internally, I see it. You have what it takes to play in the NBA, right? All you got to do is keep getting better.
Right.
That's it.
Right? This is my whole message.
Right.
Keep getting better.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Bron is telling Bronny the same thing, but it was interrupted. Not saying that he can't get there, that he would never get there.
I think he got a chance.
But it was interrupted. And they pivoted. And they pivoted in a way that we all said, we all took pause in it, right? We're like, but that's their family, that's their decision.
Right.
So we all gonna sit back and whatever comes with it, comes with it. And we're the same, I'm the same one that sit on this couch and say, we're gonna treat him as the 55th pick, right? My son was the 52nd pick. I fucking get it.
Your son went
They
pro?
offered me
His son went pro?
$3,000
Okay,
for
how's he
my
doing?
minor accident. This Harvard AI calculator showed me it was worth 85.
Right?
Y'all don't judge me. I got to tap out for just a moment. I got to find out something. Let me see. Is this who I think it is, first of all? Is this image of Kenyon Martin? Is this Kenyon Martin? That's Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin's son's basketball career. Baseball, as one can imagine. Hold on. That's not what we want. We want Kenyon Martin's son's basketball career. Let's see what he said.
According to Wikipedia, the son of former NBA player Kenyon Martin, he grew up in Southern California and played basketball while attending Chaminade College Prep in Sierra Canyon before going to IMG Academy for his postgraduate year. He was selected by the Sacramento Kings in the second round of the 2020 NBA draft.
And that's where it stops. Okay. So he know a little bit about what he's talking about.
It worked out for KJ in year 5. He listened, he got better, he did things, he was in a decent situation to play. It just, right? It's just unfortunate my name ain't to that. Where everything
LeBron
that
level, as I
KJ
said
has
before.
done, everything that he's doing is being critiqued.
But it's help.
Right? It's help.
Because with you were a rough rider. Everybody know you could defend your ass off. Everybody you wasn't scared of shit. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't gonna be some soft ass playing alongside you. You wasn't having it. No one disrespects your son.
Because they scared of him. Just tell him.
But it's not. But no, it's not about being scared of him. No. It's his makeup.
It's a bully.
No. It's his makeup. Yeah, he was.
If you don't tell him, he's gonna make sure you tell him.
That you was a bully.
Tell him he's the villain. Tell him. Yeah, tell him.
Don't listen to these motherfuckers.
But what I'm saying is,
Underdog user, not on bully.
he was. So he comes into the league, but it's not just about respect for him as a player. It's respect for how he handled his son coming into the league. You said, listen, you talk. I had to ask you about your son the other day. I've been hearing about his son for a while. I had to ask him about him. You understand what I'm saying? You got to ask. I mean, Melo. Listen to Melo talk about how he had to step back. You know, he was desperate for his son to go to Syracuse, but he didn't want to influence him. You said Melo never talked about his son like that. You had to ask him, and so you see a lot of this stuff happen, and then you see this. And I'm like, so as a media member, now, this is the part y'all may not take into consideration. You don't have to care, but we do.
It's good.
If I don't say nothing. Wait a minute now. I would have said something about somebody else. I'd have said something before.
Okay.
How long am I supposed to go without doing my job? The brother is in the NBA. He is wearing a Lakers uniform. So it's like, wait a minute here. You got to a point where it left you no choice. So then all you can do is speak respectfully, but honestly. And then everybody was caught up in as a father.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man.
Steve,
Come on,
like
man.
this, Steve. This how simple it goes. It
Okay.
goes this simple.
Please.
That's it.
You've always been stand-up Steve. So whenever it's a situation that we looking to Steve to stand up and they're trying to take that away from you, you got to look at it. From my perspective, I'm like, I'm always the one that's going to say something,
Y'all.
right? And I'm going to be always the one that's the hater. Because what I'm saying is in opposition to what everyone either believes or has been told.
Okay.
So I've always taken the Stephen A. Smith seat.
Okay.
I'm going to say it. Yeah, I said it. I know some of y'all feel that way, and I know some of y'all watching what I'm watching. But it's not a critique. It's just what I'm seeing. It's an observation.
Somebody want to play with their brother, like the asses.
Yes,
The Nessus.
he
I'm
took
gonna
the
say
process.
shit about
Who
their
did?
asses.
Who did? You wasn't on the show then.
They
He got
criticized,
bro.
I said he was taking up the goddamn roster
Yeah.
spot.
What's wrong with wanting to play with somebody you love?
When J.R. Smith and Chris Smith,
J.R. Smith,
he got criticized for that.
No,
Yes.
they're not in the media like every day like LeBron is.
Well,
The asses.
Their dad
They ain't on his level.
One time
Yeah,
on
but
fucking
it's a couple of
ESPN.
things.
He's not in the GOAT debate. That's the point.
In a couple of
In
a couple ways. In a couple ways. Hold on.
No,
Giannis is a bad
okay.
example.
Yeah.
Giannis is a bad example. He's a superstar. He comes over to America, and they were talking about how he was alone and he's not comfortable because he's not trusted. So you got that man there to keep him comfortable. Wait a minute, he's worth it because you ain't going to the 12th man on the bench any damn way. So stop that. Now to get to your point, you're right, except for one thing. I haven't always spoken first. There's plenty of times in my career where I've laid back and I haven't said anything and I've waited. It's just that when I spoke,
That's what I'm saying.
that it resonates.
That's what I'm saying.
But
You holding
eventually I
back.
will. But it's not always first.
But you holding back sometimes works against you because you could have said it when everybody was feeling it and everybody knew it was supposed to come out and you supposed to say it, right? So you
Right.
holding that Bronny
Okay.
information,
Okay.
you holding on
Okay.
to it, knowing we all saying it,
Right.
right? And we waiting on Stand-Up Steve to say it because that's going to validate it.
Right.
It's like if Steve see it, we know it's boom.
Yeah, but in that situation,
I don't know if he said anything.
I didn't.
I didn't.
In that
He's
situation,
the only foreigner that needed somebody
It's-
next to him.
No, I said it.
no.
I said
He's
it.
the only foreigner that needed help.
He's the only forward with
What's
a
his
brother
name?
that damn
What's his
good.
name,
How
brother?
about that?
What's his name?
Okay?
What's his
Everybody
name?
ain't Giannis. Everybody ain't Giannis.
Joker brothers should be on the bench with him.
Like I get both.
They are
sides,
on the
huh?
bench. They
Like,
behind
he
the
was
bench.
in the league before he was taking up the roster spot for
Right.
everybody.
Yeah, agree.
He was in the league before
But you're
Giannis.
not. But you're not wrong with what you're saying. You're not wrong. I'm just saying that it depends on the story. Everything isn't meant to be put on Front Street day one. Sometimes you wait because sometimes the story is more potent when you wait, as opposed to you being just get it out there first. Nah.
I need an example, Steve, before I can say you cooking. I need an example.